Well, hello there, and welcome back to Season 7 of Community Storytelling here at KCAT TV 15. I'm Lissa Chrysler, and I'm so happy to have you with us today. We must thank Linda Lester, who since day one has been with us here at Community Storytelling, and this year a very generous anonymous donor stepped up to the plate, and here we are. New set. Look at this gorgeous artwork from Glenn Nakazawa. It's just going to be a great season, and we're so happy to have you with us. And I've been waiting for 3 years to get this young man next to me. You don't know who this young man is, most likely, because he's always behind the scenes here at KCAT TV 15. Some people are just hearing from the first time. Well, let me introduce you to Zach Benitez.
Thank you, Lisa.
I've never said your last name.
Well, you got it right, so that's pretty impressive.
But yeah, many people don't realize, and you're watching KCAT TV 15 right from the campus of Los Gatos High School. And do we get fabulous students working here? And this guy started just volunteering here, I believe. I mean, how long have you been with KCAT?
So, we got a bit of a story to tell. But first, Lisa, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. This is my first on-camera situation.
Yeah, he's usually behind the camera.
Super happy to be here. Okay, so kind of back to the beginning. I think it was actually when I was about 10 years old, I went to a camp at KCAT. So I was young, I was little.
Summertime.
My mom found out, she was like, oh, you love cameras and talking and doing stuff. And I was like, yes, I'm definitely going to KCAT camp. And so I walked right in, I was here with one of my friends, and we spent the whole week making commercials together and shows together. And I remember thinking, gosh, you know, some kids like Disneyland, but like KCAT, like that's even cooler.
Are you serious? This is where you got the bug?
This was the spot. So I got in there, I got in the office room, I was looking at all the shelves of the cameras and the batteries and the computers, and that was like the coolest thing in the world.
A little Zach.
Couldn't have been much taller than that. There's actually some really funny pictures of me like way short standing in front of, under that KCAT sign. I guess my mom felt the need to take a picture of it then, and she was totally right. She was foreshadowing there a little bit. But no, it was a great time at camp. And then I remember I came back in my freshman year of high school, and I was like, hey, Melissa, I guess it'd be really cool if I could maybe, you know, get an internship and learn a little bit about cameras and what's going on, because like this place is pretty cool. And then she was like, yeah, you can come check things out. And I came in, I shadowed for some shows, and it was super fun. And before you knew it,
you were my boss.
Yeah.
Melissa Torin is this boss, and then this, and you were my boss.
I have directed a countless number of community storytelling shows, and
yes,
I'm honored to have been here to do it.
I kind of feel like I've seen you grow up.
I know,
and grow up you have.
I feel like I've grown up. I've learned everything here.
So and we'll come back to that, but you got your senior shirt on.
Yes, I do.
You got your NYU because you are going to NYU. What's their mascot?
NYU class of 2028. So here's the thing. We don't have an official like mascot as far as I'm aware. It's NYU Violets is what people refer to people who go to NYU as. So technically I'm a Violet.
When I see the violet on your hat.
Yes, I am an NYU Violet.
And you're going to be in the camera.
I'm going to be starting out. I'm doing 2 years. So NYU actually has a couple different unique programs, and one of them I'm going into is actually called Liberal Studies. So it's a program at NYU
which
that
covers
allows
everything.
Yes, it does. But what it does is it actually allows you to basically front load your general education classes. So what's nice about that is I actually go in undeclared, essentially from a major standpoint for the first 2 years. And then after that second year, I can transfer into, I think the number is around 80% of any of NYU's majors straight out of liberal studies and most anything in College of Arts and Sciences. So I can kind of pick a College in Arts and Sciences major after 2 years to go into. Then I do that for the remaining 2 years and focus on those kind of more specific-y classes. And then I'll graduate with that 4-year degree.
So I had dreams of you going to Good Morning America and being the producer of the show, or behind the camera. What's happening?
So here's the dream actually. So the goal is for me is to do the first 2 years of liberal studies and to make sure that I actually want to go into a TV broadcasting field, because I always want to be certain. I actually look at so many adults all around me and everybody's changing careers and everything, and I'm like, well, why not give myself an extra 2 years to just figure things out and have some fun? So that's what I'm going to be doing. And then in those second 2 years, I'll have the chance to kind of pick the major I want to go into. I'm likely going to do a communications major. I might do a communications and journalism kind of situation. A little unclear on what I want to do now because I don't have to be clear on it. And then the dream job for sure would be going to directing sports at Madison Square Garden. So that would be...
Okay, I'm keeping your phone number. I want front row tickets to the Knicks.
I got you covered. That's my one there. That would be, if you ask me what I want to do right now, it would be technical director at MSG.
And you'll just have to switch hats.
For sure. Oh yeah.
You're just going to have to switch hats.
I'm going to have to take some deep breaths and work that out, but yes.
So can you tell that this kid is one of the stars of the speech and debate team here at Los Gatos High School? I mean, I'm listening to you saying, wait a second. And you have gone so far in speech and debate. You have won, I know, so many local contests. Okay, tell us.
Well, the thing is, I think the thing that's important to clear up is not always. When I was here at KCAT camp, I was shy. I was not a kid who was outspoken and talking. I mean, in 5th grade, I was the kind of kid, my parents remind me sometimes, I was the guy who, I wouldn't go to my classes because I'd be wanting to hang out with my teacher all the time. There was no recess for me, no lunch. I mean, because really, the world outside of my little sphere was scary to me.
And where was your
little sphere? That's why I went to a small private school called Almaden Country Day School.
Heard of it.
And that is K through 8, and I attended all the way, technically I did junior kindergarten through 8th grade there, so that's what I did for all my years. And I remember it was through elementary school, I had a bunch of amazing friends, and it was a great place for me, but I was just such a shy person. I didn't want to talk to people on the outside, strangers weren't my thing, my parents and my teachers were my favorite people in the world to hang out with, and that's cool, but like everyone was kind of waiting for me to make some friends and stuff. And so over time, I kind of figured it out. I went into middle school. My speech and debate coach, who's actually coached me through all 7 years now, he coaches at in Almaden, and so we met up together there, and he was like, kind of encouraged me to try things out, and I went home, and my parents were like, gosh, we see these flyers for the speech and debate team. They're like, maybe you should give that a try. And I was like, really? I mean, that did not sound fun at all. But I got my friend John. We went to the introductory meeting together. We sat there and we listened kind of begrudgingly to everything that was going on. And after just hearing my coach out, we were like, you know what? We're going to give it a try. And we went in. We started doing basically what is one of the only partner events in speech.
Sure.
So that's what we did together at the time, and it was super fun. It was an acting event, so we got to kind of, show our talents together and just be fun. Our comedic timing was on point because we were already friends.
But you have gone to the very top
and so,
since
well, there's a little bit more to cover before we get there. But yes, the point is that I didn't always start out as a speaker. In fact, quite the opposite. And so it's actually kind of funny to me to look at it and be like, wow, like, I didn't think I was going to be talking much at all, and now I'm like probably top 1 percentile talker, which I am proud of at this point. But it really didn't start out that way, and so I think it's really important to kind of look back and reflect on that. But after that reflection, it's cool to enjoy what we have now, which is that I have been competing nationally for 6 of my 7 years.
You started here as a freshman on the varsity speech and debate team.
Yes. So the thing about Los Gatos is we have a very small speech and debate program. So while I was a varsity competitor, we don't have necessarily a JV freshman varsity team. But the way that the speech and debate tournaments go is they kind of separate people based on, division you enter as a JV, an open, a freshman varsity. There's all the different divisions. And so I was immediately in the open division when I got into here, which is essentially just another way of saying varsity, which is unique. Usually as a freshman, you're not in that position, but because I started speech and debate in 6th grade, which is quite rare, typically people will max out at 4 years doing speech and debate because it goes freshman, sophomore, junior, senior for the most part. Very few people have the opportunity to kind of do it and perfect it in middle school, and I kind of had that advantage to where by the time I was a high school freshman, having done it for 3 years, I pretty much had out-experienced a lot of the people already at the high school level. So it was cool for me to be able to be competing against seniors as a freshman and be able to hold up, which was fun. Albeit online, I will tell you for the first year, online speech and debate was painful.
Was that COVID?
It was COVID.
Yeah.
It was pain. I don't wish to relive that by any means, but it was. Now, the tough thing about doing a speech and debate thing online is that you lose that face-to-face communication like we're having right now.
So are you writing out what you're saying?
So
it's not
everything.
Zoom?
So everything is it's pre-prepared. So my speeches for the speech event I speak specifically for the event that I do called Original Oratory. The acronym for it is OO. And what we do is it's a 10-minute pre-memorized speech on some kind of societal problem or topic. And so it kind of goes, you introduce it, there's, the formal intro section, then you introduce the problem, you talk about the effects of that problem, the impacts, and then the solutions. And so typically, as opposed to being some kind of legislative or policy-based problem, like something about, we need to change our water usage, something like that, it's more of kind of a theory-based topic. So this year, for example, my topic is, as a society, we try too hard to win. And we also don't have a good definition for what that means. We often look at winning like it's a zero-sum game. It's binary. It's getting first place, or second place is the first loser.
You lost me 2 minutes ago.
It's this mentality that we're going through. And so the thing that I'm trying to push for people is that personal growth and success can also be winning. So even if I didn't get first place in my tournament, I can still be happy because I made a friend, I got to travel, I got to learn personally.
Yes.
And that's something that I've kind of had to learn over my speech and debate days too. There were definitely days where I would be...
feel bad.
Yeah, there were days I'd be flying home on my plane
without a trophy
from Kentucky, and I would be less than thrilled with on my layover about how I didn't win, and it would be sad. And now I've kind of learned to enjoy the experience, which is great. But it's been fun.
That's great advice.
Competing on these national tournaments is so cool. We get to make friends with people all over the country. You get to come to these tournaments and it's like, oh, I'm from Kansas, Arkansas, Mississippi, New Hampshire, everywhere. I mean, seriously. And these are not people I would get to meet otherwise.
Right.
And so it's honestly just a really cool experience.
So what would you say
ways.
your favorite topic is to debate?
So as far as, because I do a regional oratory and I just do these kind of theory-based speeches, I should probably clarify that it's one topic for the whole year. So out of my 4 high school years, it's been 4 topics. And so what we do is, it's actually really cool, is we pick the topic in August, which is kind of the preseason. And then September, October, November, we go to kind of a first round of tournaments for the first half of for the season. And then in December, we kind of do what I've informally dubbed the mid-season kind of break. And so what we do is we kind of refine the speech, we look back on it, what's working, what isn't working, we get ballots and feedback and stuff from judges, and we have to go back and analyze and all this stuff. We figure out, okay, this word in this spot isn't working, this sentence isn't here, this example, and it really does get as nitpicky as like, okay, we need to increase the pause at the 5-minute and 23-second mark, and that might make a difference. And really that seems outrageous, but that is seriously, when you're in the top kind of 5% or maybe even 1% of this activity, that's what matters. And to set people apart, you really have to be absolutely perfect.
That's what
and
makes
so
the
that's
difference.
what matters. Back to the topics that I like the most. Of course, the topic that I chose this year, I'm very fond of because I stuck with it for a whole year.
It's a good topic.
It's a great topic. I really like topics that make people kind of self-reflect themselves. I really try to pick topics that are super universal. So kind of regardless of what age you're at, you're a teenager, you're an adult, you're going to be able to resonate with my topic in some way, shape, or form, because at some point in your life, you felt the pressure to win at something.
Always.
And so that's what I think is so special about my topic, is I really try to get that kind of universal feel with it. And so that's why I like this particular one a lot.
I'm still trying to win, so I'm going to keep in mind what you said.
It's a great message. I really love it.
And I'll tell my grandkids, when they come home from the sports game, the competition without a trophy, but look what you gained today. Look who you met. Look how much fun you had.
It's a super good one. And there's a lot of opportunity for good humor in there too. Just earlier today, actually, we're currently refining our speech for what's going to be my last ever tournament, the National Speech and Debate Tournament here in Iowa, coming up in a few weeks, which is going to be fun. A couple plane flights to get out there, and certainly a state I've never been to before. So I'm looking forward to exploring new territory.
You are amazing.
I'll give you that.
You are amazing.
But as we head into that tournament, actually today we were just refining some new examples for my speech. We added some funny stuff about parents misbehaving at youth sporting events.
Never happens.
And so
happens.
No, it took me hours to find a story about that.
Parents and grandparents. Throw that one in.
Everybody's behavior just goes down the tubes at the youth sporting events.
Goodness.
And so
my daughter has warned me many times in the baseball stands, Grandma Lissa, they're gonna throw you out in a minute.
we have some absolutely phenomenal stories to tell.
I bet.
And no shortage of content from the internet these days. So it's been good. So yes, definitely enjoying the speech crafting process here for what is sadly going to be the last time.
So tell me 3 sad things leaving Los Gatos High School.
Well, the first sad thing, I'll just keep going on where we're at, is definitely going to be...
I bet.
Well, let's see. I'll make my list here. So it's definitely going to be, I'm going to say the community, KCAT, and speech and debate. Okay, those are my things, but let me dive into them a little bit. So we'll talk about speech and debate first. So speech is going to be sad to leave.
Wait a second, who's doing the interview here?
Speech is going to be sad because it's... you often get things, you look at baseball, hockey, football, those things, they have teams in college. And they don't for speech. It doesn't continue.
You're right.
And that's the thing.
You're right.
So it kind of comes straight to an end. So I feel like I'm finally at this point where I've perfected my craft and I've grown up and I feel like I'm the best I've ever been. But am I going to get to be here at my prime for very long? No.
They don't have it in college?
They don't have it in college.
Really?
So we're done. Now, I always tell people always ask, are you going to continue speech and debate? And I'm like, yes, I'm going to use it for my whole life. Every business meeting, every interview, everything.
Right.
So in itself, speech and debate doesn't ever end, but in my little competition sphere, it does unfortunately come to an end. So that's
okay,
definitely sad. Number 1. Number 2, KCAT for sure. So I would here, you can ask a question.
Well, so let's get to number 3 so we can go back to number 2 because I do have some questions.
Okay.
Number 3, what's the third one?
Third one is definitely going to be community. So
and what do you mean by community?
So because I didn't go to, I didn't start in the public school system here in Los Gatos. So
and you live in Los Gatos.
I do live in Los Gatos, yes. But when I came into this school, I really knew nobody. I mean, I had a few friends from different schools who I was coming in with, but I felt so embraced by the community when I came in here, and it was shocking to me because I thought there was no way anybody was going to pick me up and want to be friends or anything like that, and it blew me away. And doing that in the middle of COVID and everything was like a whole nother experience, if you could imagine.
That's right, you started.
So yes, I had no friends in online school, but it was over time just getting to meet people, being embraced by the community. I feel so respected and loved by this community, the teachers, my classmates. I mean, Everybody. And that to me has been so special and so integral to my success. I mean, who knows if I would have had the confidence to take harder classes, apply to NYU, go and do the things I was doing if it weren't for, supportive people around me.
And it's so cool that you said that, because I think a lot of kids think that, but they haven't put it into words. They don't realize that they have this fabulous community and what the community did for them. I mean, it's part of their life every day, but they don't stop and think about it. So that, I love what you said.
It's the self-awareness and the gratitude that's essential.
Yes.
And which is funny because that's my graduation speech here at graduation in a few weeks will be all about that.
Are you the valedictorian?
I'm not the valedictorian, but I am the main speaker for graduation here at Los Gatos. So
and how did that happen?
One of the main speakers.
How did that happen?
I tried out.
Oh, it was a tryout.
It was a tryout.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried out. I mean, I made a speech and stuff, and I really wanted the spot. I felt like it would be kind of a good thing to honor all the speech and debate years I've done. Because here's the thing, speech and debate kids don't get any recognition. We get football, it's plastered all over the news and everything, and I'll go out and
I think you're considered the
nerds. Go to finals. Yeah. I mean, one time I was outside practicing and somebody walked by and was like, "What's up, debate nerds?" And I was like, "Yeah, you're not wrong." Because here's the thing, is like we don't get any. There's no recognition, and especially here because speech and debate is so it really just isn't understood in Los Gatos. The team is so tiny. And so the recognition is kind of zero. And so I think it's cool to be giving the speech at graduation because that's kind of my one shot to show what I got.
So what's the title?
I'm excited for my graduation speech.
Yes.
I can't be talking about that now.
Oh, you can't tell us?
I gotta leave some suspense for something.
All right.
I gave you the theme. That was good enough.
And how many minutes do you get?
I get 3 minutes.
3?
Whether I'll stay under 3 minutes is...
Oh, they don't play the music? They don't have the hook?
We'll see what happens.
You're going to test
I got to stay under 3 minutes.
You're going to test them.
I've been told I need to stay under 3 minutes.
All right.
We'll leave it at that.
Well, very proud moment for your parents, I'm sure.
It's gonna be,
and
I'm
I know
super
you're
excited
from
for
New York.
I am from New York
going
originally.
home.
Going home. I was born in Manhattan, moved at 2 months old out here, so I really wasn't that old. But I got 2 months of listening to sirens and car horns and all kinds of fun stuff, and so that's kind of now been ingrained into me. So I'm looking forward to living back there.
Okay, let's go back to number 2 on things that you're going to be sad about. KCAT TV 15. Tell me 2 of the best moments.
So best moments at KCAT, I mean, for sure are moments where I've gotten to kind of show my own personal autonomy. 2 things come to mind. The first one is starting the sports show that we had here for a while, Third and Long. I kind of approached Melissa and I was like, hey, I direct all these shows with Lloyd, one with Bill, they're cool, but I kind of want to start one and I have a cool idea. And, these folks, they've come to me, they've said, hey, we want to start a football podcast. And I was like, let's make this happen. And Melissa kind of approached me and was like, you know what? I'm going to give you the freedom to do that. And I started that show and I took it for 2 years and it was really phenomenal. Of course, it was by no means my show. I mean, all those guys ran it. They were the absolute stars. I just kind of helped direct it and get it, kind of moving. But having the opportunity to just explore my creative freedom there gave me the confidence to express myself in ways that, people just don't really understand.
Right.
Especially as a teenager, I just went through AP psychology, so you learn all these things. And just the way that people kind of approach you in these years are super important on whether they kind of accept your ideas and things like that. And I really felt like here, all of the ideas that I had were accepted and it really gave me the opportunity to kind of branch off of them and learn new things in the process. Everything here was learning experience. So all the communications, the responsibility, everything. And of course I made mistakes and that's how you learn.
Don't we all?
And I mean, that was kind of the beauty of it all. But helping start and direct the Third and Long show was definitely a huge stepping stone for me. The second thing was definitely running the holiday parade. I got to do that.
Nothing more fun than that.
The first time I did the holiday parade, it was kind of thrust into it as the head director myself, and I remember being kind of intimidated. I was like, okay, I don't know if I can do this. And I got there that morning, I woke up at 4:30 a.m. because I was like, I must be wide awake for this. I drank my coffee and I got right down there and I was ready to go, just as all teenagers do, waking up at 4:30 on a Saturday morning. So I was right down there getting all the gear set up. We were ready to go. And I remember just thinking to myself, I'm like, gosh, I am an essential, cog in the machine that is helping this run. And it was really that feeling of importance that propelled me to, continue and move forward in this field. Because as I've kind of explained to some people, one of the most important things in life is to feel like you matter and to feel like you are providing an impact to a situation or a scenario. And I really felt that everything I was doing was integral to the success of what was happening. And so with that understanding that I'm important, I am needed, that propelled me forward and just motivated me to work hard each and every day.
I think you just wrote your speech.
And I think that in some capacity, yes. But it's also that idea of just, live broadcasting also just by nature kind of thrusts you into that a little bit too. Because, in a live broadcast, it doesn't matter whether you're tired. It doesn't matter whether you're upset. If you don't bring your A game to that broadcast, it is not going to be an A+ show.
I've known that my whole life.
And so I'm sure that's something that you can understand.
Yes,
and so in that regard, it also taught me a little bit to say, hey, you know, I'm going to walk into KCAT and it does not matter what's happening anywhere else. This is my chance to run this broadcast and do this and perfect this and make this show. And like, that is all that matters in that moment.
KCAT TV 15.
It's been amazing.
It has been amazing to have you. And we can't wait to see what happens with you. You know, 4 years you're going to come back and yeah, you'll be at GMA or someplace.
I'll have some
CBS
stories
or
for
something.
You. Bring me
Yes.
back.
Oh my goodness. I've been wanting to interview this kid. He's not a kid anymore. He's an adult. And boy, you're fabulous. And I'm really proud of you. I know your parents are too, but I've gotten to see you grow as well. So it's just great. Zach Benitez, we wish him the best. Happy graduation to all Los Gatos High School seniors, the class of 2024. You are fabulous. And I guess that's it for community storytelling this time around. I hope you enjoyed our show as much as I did, and you're amazing.
Thank
you
so
amazing.
much, Lisa.
And we will see you next time. You got a Zach to nominate? KCAT.org. It's that easy. And I'm so happy to have been with you for this little bit. So come back again. I'm Lissa Chrysler, Community Storytelling, KCAT TV 15.